Welcome back to STL Live. I'm Sarah Thompson. Shining City is the story of a therapist and a widower who struggles to admit a dark secret. Joining me is actor Jerry Vogel and director Toni Dorfman. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, so just next week, the St. Louis premiere of Shining City. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, or terrifying.
Depending on how you look at it. You know, I read about the Broadway premiere and just rave reviews.
Yeah.
So how is this going to be here in St. Louis? Let's talk about how you've approached this and working with Upstream Theater.
I'm the newbie here because they imported me to do this with some very established, well, as it was pointed out to me when I took the job, these are the best actors in St. Louis. And certainly I'm having a ball with them. Jerry came in with all of his lines learned and his Irish accent and flung himself into rehearsals. And Chris was pretty good. Also, Chris Harris is playing opposite the two major roles. And what happened is they had 4 full days of rehearsal before the other actors showed up. So when we had our first read-through, which was on the 5th day, and these two were already on the set acting their hearts out, the other two rapidly came up to speed.
Well, let's talk about, for people who aren't familiar with it, I mean, tell me a bit, Jerry, tell me a bit about the play. I mean, we mentioned that there's an Irish accent, but let's put it all into context for people who aren't familiar with Shining City.
Okay, well, it's a fairly new play, so Conor McPherson is well known for other Irish plays, The Weir, The Seafarer, but this particular one, he even says in some notes beforehand, he wrote it fairly quickly. It just kind of, he had something to say and it just kind of poured out of him. Yeah. And in essence, we call it a ghost story, but my character is recently bereaved, as I say. You know, my wife passed away a few months ago, and he is also guilt-ridden for reasons that you find out later. That would be a spoiler alert. I won't go through that. But he admits to his therapist right up front, I'm not sleeping, and I don't know what I'm going to do because I've been seeing my dead wife's ghost. And, yeah, and it goes from there.
So this is intense. I mean, when I've read about this, I mean, there's really no more than how many?
Five scenes, all of them, only 2 persons, same set, therapist's office. 1 person on a couch, 1 person on a chair, talking to each other. And you would think that, oh dear, this sounds like kind of a, you know, mundane situation. But each of the scenes, from the work we've done so far and from what's required underneath the lines, the subtext, is scouring out each of the characters and these actors, fleeing themselves into that marrow of heights, depths. So
how would you describe the tone? I mean, is it going to just feel intense? Is it going to feel scary?
It's going to be intense. It's going to be hilarious. Occasionally it's going to be scary. Occasionally it's going to be almost farcical.
So it covers the full...
Comic, tragedy, yeah. And in that way also, and that's another way, it reminds me of Beckett. But it's so much more, it seems to me, accessible and so much more playable than a lot of the Beckett that I've done and that I've also directed. So I'm having a ball.
That's great. And Jerry, you were talking about, you know, that it was an Irish playwright and that you're taking on an Irish accent. How complex is that?
I love accents, and as I said, my mother's name was Eileen Mulligan, so I found out from DNA that I have about 48% British Irish.
So it's coming out naturally.
Yeah, so I'm channeling a bit of my mother's very happy. You know. My father, maybe not so much, the German, you know, but dialects is something we learned in conservatory. I went to Webster Conservatory, and we take an entire year to study dialects, and it's amazing how often it comes up. And it gives you such versatility, so you can attack it technically. Just know that, you know, this sound, it's not father, it's father, you know, or, you know, they say their R's more hard, you know, and so you can do it technically, or you can just go on YouTube and listen to 1,000 different Irishmen because they love to talk.
And then get it into your...
and they will talk about their accents, you know, so...
It's going to be exciting. We've got the information there on your screen. Shining City. This is the St. Louis premiere. This has been in London. This has been in New York. First time done here in St. Louis. It's presented by Upstream Theater. It's taking place January 29th through February 14th at Kranzberg Art Center, right in the heart of Grand Center. For more information, go to upstreamtheater.org. But we're going to take a quick break. You're staying on set with me. Jerry, thank you so much for joining us. But we're going to continue to talk more about Shining City. When we return from this break, we're actually going to also have a musical selection from the play. Stay tuned, we've got more.